My name is Amanda Sotelo, and my research article that I'm presenting on is labeled Long-Term Suicide Risk in No, One, or More Mental Disorders. It is known and referred as the Lundby Study, which occurred in 1947 to 1997. Now, some may say, how is suicidal risk assessed? Well, some may look at an innocent bystander, someone that's smiling, having a good day, and think that they have everything going on for them. But little do they know, they suffer eternally and mentally. Then there's other people that is more prevalent, and you can tell these symptoms by crying or by depression or simply not engaging and pulling back. Now, in the following slide, I will introduce the Lundby Study. The Lundby Study was generated by 4 different researchers, and they gathered together to assess suicidal risk. However, their hypothesis specifically focused on mental disorders. They hypothesized that whether having none, one, or more, meaning no more than 2 mental disorders, whether at the same time or at different occurrences, contributes to an increase in suicidal risk over a long period of time. Now, the way that the researchers went about to study their hypothesis, they gathered 3,563 participants who were being monitored over a 54 to 64 year time span. Now, they had 3 approaches to this overall study. The first one was one-on-one interviews. This was done either in person or over the phone, since many participants over a period of time decided to move. The second type of study that they did was interviewing key informants of the participants' life, such as co-workers, friends, family, anybody that was constantly around the participant that would know important information. The third way they gathered their facts was by retrieving external forces, and this included being able and going through their medical files, as well as observing autopsy reports and causes of death. Now, to further their study, what the researchers decided to do is subdivide their participants depending and categorizing them on their mental disorders, if they had any. For any participants that did have a mental disorder prior to the experiment, they need to have it existing in their medical history for at least a year. Now, for the ones that did have a mental disorder and were labeled, they were defined in 5 levels of functional impairment. The first being minimal, the second being mild, the third being medium, the fourth being severe, and the 5th being very severe. Now, what was the conclusions to this researcher's study? The first was that it indicated a significance in suicidal risk between the participants who had none, one, or more, meaning 2 mental disorders, each one greater than the last. It also proved that participants that suffered from multiple mental illnesses also carried a greater risk than someone that had 1, none, or 2. What it also revealed is that men who suffered from 1 or more, meaning 2 mental disorders, experience a greater suicidal risk than women. That concludes the end of my presentation. Thank you.